When I was president of the German Heritage Club of St. Charles County, back in 1990, I wanted us to have a project for the German Heritage Club. So I asked the members for their thoughts, and nobody had any ideas, and so I suggested a sister city relationship.
My favorite part about the delegation coming to St. Charles is that they get to see what St. Charles has.
In April of 2014, an official delegation from Ludwigsburg, Germany visited St. Charles to meet with city officials and to embrace a different culture. A sister city of St. Charles, Ludwigsburg was founded in 1704, 105 years before its sister city. Ludwigsburg focuses on preserving its historical buildings much like St. Charles does on Main Street, but both cities are always keeping an eye towards the future. St. Charles and Ludwigsburg share many qualities, such as their position alongside a river, their local universities, and their location within a larger metro area, with St. Charles being part of the greater St. Louis metro area, whereas Ludwigsburg is part of the greater Stuttgart metro area. While visiting, the delegation met with several different departments, such as Community Development, Economic Development, and the Convention and Visitors Bureau. The delegation included several of Ludwigsburg's council members, as well as the Lord Mayor Werner Spitz. There was no shortage of things to talk about amongst the delegation members and city officials as they traded stories, ideas, and information on how each city was run.
My name is Sally Faith, and I'm the mayor of the city of St. Charles.
Hi, my name is Joe Dawes, and I'm past president of the Sister Cities Club.
My name is Werner Spitz. I'm Lord Mayor in the city of Ludwigsburg.
We were able to talk to them about community development, about our streets department.
This year we had an unbelievable, interesting program for the visit within 3 days and got incredibly different and wide-ranging impressions into the structures of the city of St. Charles.
He was very interested in city planning. What is St. Charles doing with city planning? How do they plan their future? And they have a master plan in Ludwigsburg, and they compared the two, and they met with the community development department head, economic development, tourism, and shared ideas about how each city is administered.
We had an insight in different sections of the town, so, for example, we got to know the structure of the fire department and the rescue service. And we visited different schools, which was very important, because the student exchange on both sides is of major interest. But we also have been in enterprises at the Visitor Convention Center and were informed about the city marketing. We got to know the infrastructure of the city of St. Charles in their entirety. We saw parts of the city, like Newtown, and other forms of recent developments. But we also saw how city planning works here, how the historic town districts are upgraded and developed.
During their visit, the delegation members and city officials discussed the various aspects of running their respective governments. Through this, everyone became more aware of the various similarities and differences between running Ludwigsburg and St. Charles.
First of all, the Ludwigsburg City Council is 40 members. And 40 is a lot. The city of St. Charles is 10 council members, and that's plenty. And how the different governments are set up. But the main thing is they have 8-year terms for their office, and they run a campaign. They run to get elected. So the process is fairly similar in how you would become an elected official. However, they have different parties, and the Green Party, and so it's just interesting to see how that works.
A member of each political party of Ludwigsburg was represented: the Social Democrat, the Christian Democrat, Free Democrat, and the Green Party. There was a council member from each party that was represented. They have 4 parties in their government compared to our 2 with the Republicans and Democrats.
Beide Städte sind,
On the one hand, the two cities are very different in structure, but on the other side, the tasks are comparable. The part of the city is to ensure a very good infrastructure and a very good economic structure. But we also need a well-functioning social system and an intact ecological base. The ways in which those tasks are managed are quite different, and an exchange of experience will help both sides.
One of the things is education. And so in Germany, the government owns the buildings. And so certainly in the United States or in St. Charles, they do not, the buildings are not owned by the government. But learning how the same departments, Department of Education, Department of Public Works, Department of the water plant, we went to the water plant, how we do that, how we do it, and maybe there's and how they do it, and maybe there's a way we can help each other.
The Lord Mayor, and by the way, he's called a Lord Mayor because he has mayors under him. He has 2 mayors underneath him, Mayor of Public Works and the Mayor of General Services, which includes education and culture and different things like that.
für uns war beispielsweise sehr interessant.
For us, it was very interesting. The strong commitment of civil society and social sectors, and the very good collaboration amongst the city and of Mayor Sally Faith with organizations of the civil society, with the churches, for example, was quite impressive for us, because in Germany, the social system is much more financed by taxes. The high level of solidarity that people in the United States demonstrate, especially here in St. Charles, was, for us, very instructive.
Ludwigsburg is and was and has been known as what's called a barracks town, going back to the French invasion of Germany in the 19th century. They had many barracks in Ludwigsburg, and that's where the German cavalry was stationed. And these barracks still exist today.
Mayor Sally Faith and Lord Mayor Werner Spitz spoke with other delegation members and city officials about their sister cities' relationship and the Sister Cities program. While the relationship is strong and the program has been successful, improvements are expected in the future.
I went to Ludwigsburg probably, it was 2 years ago this May, and it was they have 5 sister cities. They were adding the 5th one, and so it was ceremony, and it was much pomp and circumstance in bringing in a new sister city from Yugoslavia. And I learned we don't have all that pomp and circumstance here. But the key part of that, going and continuing to go, is volunteers. People who are interested in the Sister City organization, such as Joe Dawes and the Odells and many in Stegton. It's just many other people. And so, but you need that core of volunteers to continue it and keep it going. And I think it's a great program, but somebody's got to have the passion and keep it moving.
We have tried to reach out to what I call the alumni of our exchange students to get them interested, because if you look at the average age of an exchange student is probably 16. So 18 years ago, we really got into the 4 schools. So that means that we have students that are now in their 30s, close to 34, 35. We meet once a month at Culpeper's as a club, and that's where we plan, and our major project is supporting the students. That's been our major focus over the years, and we need them because when they come back, they're always so exuberant about what a wonderful experience it was, and it just kind of opens their eyes to the rest of the world. And the world is getting to be a smaller place all the time.
When the students go, they get excited. They learn a lot. They meet new friends. They learn that the world is different than it is in their house every day. And I think the parents and the other people in their family, are ideal contacts for volunteering for the Sister Cities Club, because I believe that the parents will see the attitude change in the students going and coming back. I took my grandson, and he was just a totally different person when we came back. He was grown up. He was he grew up a lot in that period of time that we were there. So I think it's looking around, who are the students, who are their families, getting them involved in it to help and do, because it's a great club, and the club is one of the largest in the area.
Exchanges of students is a large part of the Sister Cities program. These have been taking place through the program for well over 10 years, and it gives high schoolers an opportunity to experience a different culture firsthand. In the future, the Sister Cities program hopes to foster more exchanges among city employees and interns.
Das ist eine ganz
We feel that the partnership has not only been the base for the exchange of many students during the last 20 years, and integral in the development of friendships in the Sister Cities clubs, but we are also confident that in order to intensify the exchange of experience, we have to include all important parts of the city society and city tasks. But at the same time, we must also continue the tradition of offering young people from both countries the possibility to get to know the people in the other city by staying there for some weeks. These are experiences that shape the attitude of young people for the rest of their lives.
We have tried in the past to get a firefighters exchange. We've done an artist exchange. Jan Groneman, who used to have a studio here in the Foundry, we arranged for her to take her artwork over to Ludwigsburg, and she was there for, not sure, a week or 10 days, and she showed some of her artwork and gave some exhibition lectures and was very well received. The mayor suggested that it would be good if we could send members of our council to Ludwigsburg, as they did, to share and to learn more about administering a city. Well, Ludwigsburg has 5 universities. We have never been involved in promoting Lindenwood with an exchange program, and Dr. Evans hosted the group. It was favorably discussed at the luncheon that we had with Lindenwood, that we would start a university student exchange. So just different things like that, of getting the people involved. And I'm not sure, we have between 500 and 1,000 students from St. Charles. So we're close to 20 years with student exchanges. So I'm venturing to say that between 500 and 1,000 students have been to Ludwigsburg, and likewise for Ludwigsburg to come to St. Charles. And these people know that Germans are pretty good people. And the same way in Germany. Americans are pretty nice people.
The student exchange, I think that's the biggest part of the program. Joe Dawes, who started the Sister City program 20 years ago, he had that passion to do that, and he has continued to work on it. I'm a firm believer in communication. I'm a firm believer in just keeping it one-on-one and breaking bread and having a cup of coffee and eye to eye and talking and sharing. And that makes for such a better form of communication and makes it easier then to learn from each other and to help each other.
We've had interns at the city. We've had interns at First State Bank. I've had nannies. I've had 2 nannies, young girls that came over to stay with families. I wish we could get more of our young people interested in trying to intern. Young people that they don't have to be perfect linguists, but to have a good working knowledge, because you pick it up when you get there. Their young people speak wonderful English, so there's no problem with their coming here. We've had probably at least a dozen interns that I can think of over the past 18 years.
Ich bin mir sicher, dass Interesse daran.
I am sure that there is an interest in an exchange of experience, and that this would enrich the work in the other city. We have to do some necessary organization to offer the staff members of the different departments the possibility to stay over a certain period of time in the sister city.
Well, I was so happy to learn how serious the Lord Mayor was about more exchanges.
What really impressed us was how open-minded and heartily people welcomed us everywhere. Wherever we go, we notice an enormous interest in the sister city, and the experience of changing ideas and concepts is for us very, very instructive.
That exchange of information, I just think, is great. I love going and visiting and having a good time, but this was really a work, but I think they had a good time while they were working too.